Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. Let's get in some front page news. We have Teslin Figaro here. Good morning, Tez.
Good morning, DJ NV, Pretty V, and Charlamagne the Guy.
The hood whisperer, Teslin Figaro is here.
Yep.
Well, let's start with some quick sports and front page news. The 76ers beat the Nets 96-84, and the Kings beat the Warriors 114-106. Draymond Green was kicked out the game because he stomped on a Sacramento Kings player.
Damn, I missed that?
Yeah, you missed that one. But he did grab, the Sacramento Kings player did grab his ankle, and then he just kind of went a little too far with it, though.
Okay,
Yeah,
the Warriors 0-2.
0-2.
Thanks.
And we got to congratulate, drop a bomb for Jalen Hurts. He signed a $255 million contract, sets an NFL record, and he did it with an all-women management team.
That's the most impressive thing about the whole situation, because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan, so I could care less about Jalen Hurts, but I am glad he got his money.
Yeah, I want to see the brother get his money.
And I'm glad he got an all-female agency.
Black. Isn't she black?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Gotta make sure we put that out there.
Absolutely. Now, what's going on in Kansas City? Did they charge that man yet?
Yes, they did. Quick update on that. We talked about the story yesterday. 16-year-old Ralph Yarl, many of you, and that's Yarl, just so you know, Y-A-R-L. A lot of people, it sounds like y'all, but it's Yarl. That was a story we talked about on yesterday, and a lot of you have been following it on social media about the 16-year-old that was shot in the head twice when he rang the wrong doorbell. Andrew Lester, who is an 84-year-old white man, was charged with 2 felony counts. One is assault in the first degree and with an armed criminal action for the shooting. Now, the assault charge is a Class A felony, and if found guilty, he faces no less than 10 years or up to 30 years or life in prison. And for those that continue to ask the question, Breakfast Club, why do you keep bringing up race? Well, the district attorney has confirmed that race was a factor, and also the history of America has confirmed that race was a factor. So we're going to look at those details and see how that flushes out and what motivated that man to shoot him through the door just for ringing the wrong doorbell.
Oh, we know what the motivation was, fear of black skin. We know that. But Tez, is that the right charge? I don't know anything about the legalities. Is that the right charge?
Seems light.
Yeah, but well, and people say that it seems like a lot of folks are talking about the hate crime charge, and I'm glad you brought that up, Charlamagne, because even though people say let's do hate crime, well, actually hate crime would in Missouri would carry a lower range of penalties than the 2 felonies. So at this point, what it appears to be, the district attorney said that is, the best charge. Because again, it could be life in prison. So, I mean, it just depends on. We're also talking about more than likely an all-white jury. Well, so this neighborhood or this area, if you will, is a majority white jury. So there's been a lot of conversation on should they bring up race or not bring up race during the trial, or should they just focus on the fact that you shot somebody standing, who was just standing on your porch. Also, so it's gonna be interesting to watch.
Also, life in prison for that man is any day now. Did you see his mugshot?
Right.
Yeah. He looked like he's holding on by a thread. Yeah. That man looked like the Gross Sisters' daddy.
And imagine how much terrorizing though he probably did in his 80s. That's what I thought about when I thought about him being 84. I was like, I wonder how many black people he's terrorized in life. That was my first thought.
Yeah.
And that's a fear of mine. If I ever have to make a U-turn, especially in Jersey, sometimes you got to pull into somebody's driveway, and kind of back out.
I think about that all the time.
That's one of my biggest fears, that I'm gonna pull in somebody's driveway. They're gonna see me in that car and start firing on me. So it's a big fear of mine.
Yeah, I mean, because you got to think about how we think when somebody pulls in our driveway.
Correct.
When strange cars pull in our driveway, I'm the same way. Like, what's happening? What's going on
But you ain't
outside?
gonna start shooting at him.
No, I'm not gonna start shooting.
Yeah, but
I'm
I might walk out with some slides on the road.
You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't walking out.
No, I definitely ain't walking out.
I'm gonna see what's up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be prepared for whatever.
Through the blinds. Through the blinds.
Now you were talking about black men and black people coping with stress in America.
Yep, exactly on what you just said, DJ MV, about it's a big fear of yours. We talked about anxiety yesterday. Obviously, Charlamagne talks about it all the time. So I wanted to share this report because it's always good to have some data to back up what we already know. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services said that adult Black Americans experience stress, are more likely to experience stress than white Americans, actually 20% more likely. Black Americans are also more likely to have feelings of sadness, hopelessness, and worthlessness than than adult whites. And things that are even more stressful is if you are Black and poor. Adult Black Americans who live below the poverty line are 2 to 3 times more likely to report serious psychological distress than those who live above the poverty line. So the report said that you need to find out what stress is and how you can combat it.
What kind of study is that? Did they just finally go around and start talking to us? Did they finally just start going around?
Right.
Black man, are you stressing? Yes.
Yes. Did they just finally start going around and having conversations
Or
with black
finally
people?
maybe read the history book for the
Word.
first time.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
But I did want to say this before. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wanted to get this out. Sorry, DJ Envy, you're going to throw it to the next story because I wanted to make sure we got this out because this is definitely positive. Just a quick shout out to Fahim Muhammad in California, who gifted his 13-year-old son with 40 acres. Yes, for his birthday. Muhammad said that Black Americans were promised 40 acres and a mule. And I guess since that didn't happen, he said, let me give my son 40 acres. I wanted to put that in there because, again, we look at our 16-year-old boys getting shot. I thought this was a good way to show, how we got some brothers, really out there handling business. I thought you would love this story too, DJ Envy.
No, I love that. And I think we need to do more of that if you have kids. Instead of, sometimes we throw expensive birthday parties, especially for a 1-year-old. Like we'll throw this whole huge party. And none of us remember our first birthday, right? But if we were able to invest that into a stocks or bonds or some real estate, that money would be, that kid will have a couple $100,000 by the time it's 21.
I agree. Still buy me a smash cake, though. Still buy 1-year-old smash cake. Smash cakes are fun. I'm going to have me a smash cake for my 45th birthday this year.
Yeah. But
Grow up.
No.
Is the daddy single?
Right, and girl, don't look at his shoulders. Right, I zoomed in. He got some nice shoulders, Pretty V. So go.
I might have to give me a little land or two.
I'm going to tell Rick Ross.
Right.
I'm going to tell Rick Ross.
Come on,
I'm going to tell Lemon Pepper.
Certified.
I'm going to tell Lemon Pepper.
Whoa, all right. Thank you so much, Tess. That is
Always.
Front Page News. Now, get it off your chest. 800-585-1051. If you need to vent, phone lines are wide open. Call us up right now. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning. Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. And let's get in some Front Page News.
On BET. Pick up.
What's wrong with you, man?
They told me to do it and look at the camera.
Yo, what's wrong?
What do you mean?
Oh, my. I can't take him,
What?
Tess. I can't.
We are on BET.
Ever since he's been eating that fish from Walmart, he's been changing on it. I just want to
There's
let you know.
nothing wrong with fish from Walmart. Cut it out.
No, we need to know. We need to go ahead and put that on the record. You had the audacity and the nerve and the gumption to say that you eat fish from Walmart, but you clown me for getting on Southwest.
That's
the same thing.
Which one? What's the bigger
That's the
risk?
same thing.
There's nothing wrong with Walmart whiting, okay?
Oh, Jesus.
All right?
You see?
Nothing. Y'all so damn bougie.
Charlotte, we
No,
not
it's a
doing that.
real thing. I text you the article about how it's bad to buy meat from Walmart. Like it's a real thing.
That's
And the
all
nerve
some
of you.
people can afford, okay? It is $8.72
That's
for 2
expensive.
I don't want
pounds.
to hear. I don't know
2
about
pounds.
872.
2 pounds of great value frozen wild caught Pacific whiting fillets. 2 pounds from Walmart.
Well, I don't want to hear nothing about me going on Southwest. We both out here living dangerously.
Are
Yeah,
you
y'all
saying
both
that
live dangerous,
Southwest is the Walmart meat of airlines?
Yes, it is. Now let's talk about this robotic dog in Front Page News. What's going on with this dog? What are we talking about?
Yes. Last week, Charlamagne said he is not interested in a robot dog. And New York Mayor Eric Adams said he doesn't care what Charlamagne says. He will not bow down. He used the word bow, no pun intended, to the anti-robot dog pressure. He went on to say a few loud people were opposed to it, and they took a step back. But that is not how he operates. He operates on what is the best thing to do for the city. So he said, Diggy Dog is out of the pound and on the ground. I added on the ground. Adams said that the remote-controlled 70-pound Diggy Dog will be deployed in risky situations like hostage standoffs starting this summer. He said that if a suspect is barricaded and you have someone that's inside a building that is armed, instead of sending police in, you should send in Diggy Dog. He said that is the best way to use smart technology.
I mean, the robot dogs don't matter if the same people who, who program the dog also subscribe to prejudice and discrimination.
Yeah, but I don't think the dog gonna be shooting at people. I think the dog is just used to see what the situations are. They can send the dog inside. They can send the dog to look at certain cars so they don't explode.
Can Diggy Dog bite? If Diggy Dog can bite, Diggy gonna be biting niggies. I'm telling you that right now. I'm telling you that right
Diggy
now.
going after the niggas.
You already know.
I don't think the dog could bite or shoot. I think it's just used to see what's going on in the situation.
Okay, as long as it can't attack, that's all.
Well, we'll see. We don't know. They might make some upgrade. Hey, AI, like we talked about last week, we don't tell them what's gonna happen.
Right.
What else we talking about? What else we talking about, Taz?
Yeah, I want to do a quick update on, we talked about this on Friday on Senator Feinstein. On Friday, we covered how several Democrats, including California Representative Khanna, recently called on 89-year-old Senator Feinstein to resign before her term is up due to her experiencing medical complications, which in turn has caused her to miss 60 of the 82 votes thus far this session. Not only has she missed important votes, but she also sits on the important Judiciary Committee, and that is the committee that helps advance federal judges for confirmation. Obviously, that's very important for Democrats while they still have control of the Senate. So the latest update is that Senator Feinstein has asked to be replaced on the Judiciary Committee, but has not made an announcement to retire completely from the Senate. Now, the news has received mixed reviews from Democrats. Some say that asking her to get out early is sexist. And as I mentioned on Friday, some say that, hey, no, she needs to get out so that we can go ahead and get things done. Representative Khanna doubled down on his position. Take a listen.
Well, only in Washington would you get criticized for saying something so obvious. I have a lot of respect for Senator Feinstein, but she's missed 75% of votes this year. She hasn't been showing up, and she has no intention. We don't know if she's even going to show up. She has no return date. In contrast, Senator Fetterman has said that he's going to show back up on April 17th. So it's one thing to take medical leave and come back. It's another thing where you're just not doing the job. The reality here is there's the sense, well, you need to have a deference to these senators who've served so long. How about a deference to the American people? How about an expectation that if you sign up to do one of these jobs, you show up?
I actually like seeing Khanna doing this. And I would love to know how you feel, Taz, because I don't have a problem with people pressuring her to resign because she's older, because I feel like this is what should have happened with RBG. And I feel like, there's other older leadership in the Democratic Party that the younger members of the Democratic Party should be telling, like, yo, man, it's time to fall back.
Mm-hmm. No, you're absolutely right. When the average age is, in their 60s, that's a problem. And you're absolutely right. Just to remind folks, she died 6 weeks before the 2020 election. She was a Supreme Court judge, and she wrote on her deathbed, hey, make sure you wait until 2020 to appoint a new judge. And obviously Trump didn't give a damn about that. Trump was trumping, and he replaced her. And so that is why we are dealing with what we're dealing with on the Supreme Court level. So again, it's just really I'm just going to be honest. It's very selfish to me. I don't think it has anything to do with sexism. It's about handling business. And she's been in office, I believe, almost 30 years. So it's okay. It's time to go ahead and wrap it up. And as another point, California Governor Newsom said that if she resigns, they will appoint a Black woman because it's been a void since Vice President Harris has left the Senate. Just by the way, there's no Black woman in the Senate. So
do you think this is stuff that should play out publicly or privately? Like, should these conversations be happening behind closed doors? Would they go better if it seemed like it was her who just decided to step down?
No, it need to be public and private. Put the pressure on.
Word.
Put the pressure on. I'm all about let's open it up. Let's have a discussion. Let's talk about it for what it is. There's been enough private conversations, and that has not gotten us anywhere.
And it's strange too, because when RBG did pass away and Trump ended up appointing somebody, everybody had this conversation. They was like, they should have told her to step down earlier. So why are we making the same mistake now?
Right. Well, they did tell her to step down earlier, years before, but she didn't. Again, they keep making this point about, let's make sure we show respect to the elected official. And like we heard in the clip with Khanna, he's saying it's not about the elected official. It's about the people. You literally cannot miss work, and be able to say that's okay, especially important business like this. We don't know what's going to happen in 2024, believe it or not. So when you talk about these positions on judges, this is so critical, guys. Even if you don't like Democrats, Republicans, I could care less. I'm an independent. But when we talk about judges, that is critical. When we look at who is actually going to be the judge that will determine if the guy that shot the 16-year-old gets life, or gets a slap on the wrist. That's judges, folks. So the judiciary level of government is critically important when you talk about social justice, and that is what this is doing. You know, I'm glad she's getting off the committee, but there's so many other things that need to get passed in the Senate while they have the alleged power that they say that they do, which I don't believe they do, but that's another conversation.
Word.
All right.
You better talk it.
Well, thank you, Ms. Taz. And you know what today is?
What's today?
Tax day. So if you haven't done your taxes are due today. So make sure you get your taxes in or file an extension. You don't want to mess with IRS because they will be on your ass.
Yeah, I've been my taxes. I don't got to pay taxes till October.
Honey, let me go file my extension twice. And see
Why
how
you
that
scratch
go.
your extensions while you were saying that? V scratched her extensions while she said that, by the
I don't
way.
have to file my thing.
Thank you, Tesla Figaro.
And make sure you subscribe to the Straight Shot No Chaser podcast on the Black Effect iHeartRadio podcast network, hosted by the good sister Tesla Figaro. And she will be at the first ever Black Effect podcast festival happening this Saturday in Atlanta. I would tell y'all to get tickets, but I can't because it's sold out.
Talk that talk.
Okay, so come check out Tez on the Woman in Podcasting panel this Saturday at the sold out Black Effect Podcast Festival in Atlanta.
And I'll be out there directing y'all to y'all seats, the usher.
Now let's open up the
I'm
phone
giving
lines.
out free hugs.
800-585-1051. We were talking about Chance the Rapper. There's this video of Chance the Rapper out at Jamaican Carnival, and there's a ting dancing on him. Did I do that?
The ting
dancing
Look
on him.
y'all dancing on him.
Yeah, upon him, and he smacked the ass.
Okay.
All right. So people are saying, ain't he married? Is this cheating? Is this a problem? Let's discuss. And we want to take your phone call. 800-585-1051. Pretty V is our co-host, so she's here. We're going to discuss when we come back.
And we're on BET.
And it's the Breakfast Club on
BET.
They said don't look at the camera. It's the Breakfast Club on
BET.
Don't look at me.
BET.
It's the Breakfast Club.
BET.
There you go.
We're on BET.
We're on BET. It's the Breakfast Club on BET.
And the radio.
And the radio. Don't move.
Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.